Hi everyone, I'm Flora Posteraro.
And I'm Carrie Perry.
And we have a big question. Do your kids have skin in the game?
We're chick to chick.
Okay, this is a topic that I'm sure is going to touch a lot of nerves out there.
You mean ruffle some feathers?
Ruffle some feathers today. Yeah. Do your kids have skin in the game? I can say that my child he doesn't just have skin in the game. He's got a lung in the game. He's got other vital organs in the game. I'm a tough mama.
He's right in the middle of the game.
I'm tough. How about your kids? Do they have skin in the game?
Yes. They might not have as much skin in the game as Sean, as you and I have just, talked as girlfriends. But I know they have skin in the game. I mean, they just do. That's just the way it is.
So, all right. What are we talking about, skin in the game? I think overall that we can agree that children today feel just a tad bit entitled.
Yes.
Just a tad bit entitled.
Yeah.
I mean, why did that happen? How did this happen? Aren't we kind of to blame for that as parents? Aren't we kind of to blame? I mean, we grew up, I certainly did not grow up in any sort of an entitled household. I mean, by no means possible. But I think that we then grow up and we go, you know what? I didn't have this as a child, so I want my child to have this.
Right.
Maybe we spoil them just a little bit.
I think what we do is we try to bring to them something we didn't have. It ultimately comes from something that we're lacking, that we want to provide because it's going to make us feel good. That's kind of how it makes, I think.
Yeah, it feels good to give.
Sure, absolutely. And we're taught to give, but we give to a fault.
Yes, we did. And then we've created all of these little monsters who feel entitled. So what do you do about that? Well, in my situation, how did I stop the entitlement? At a very, very early age, I decided that he had to have skin in the game. Mm-hmm. Very early on. So when Sean was 8, he said to me, when I'm 16, I want to buy a car. I said, okay,
good. That's
great. But here's the deal. When you want to buy that car, your dad and I will give you money, but we're going to go 1/3, 1/3, and you have to come up with 1/3 of the money to buy that car. So every birthday, every Christmas, every holiday, every occasion, when you get money, you better think long and hard about what you're going to do with that money, and you better start saving it, because if you really want a car, remember, it's 1/3, 1/3, 1/3. And oh, by the way, it's not just how much you then can afford at that point, but remember, there's going to be car insurance. You're going to have to pay for gas. Every year that car is going to have to be inspected.
New tires.
Everything. So you better think long and hard about how you want to spend your money and what you want to do with it. And you know what's really interesting? He did. He saved all of his money. He got the car that he was able to afford when he turned 16, and he got his driver's license. He had money set aside for the insurance and everything else. And it's really interesting too, when they have skin in the game, how all of a sudden he treated that car.
Oh, absolutely, because he was responsible for having the car.
Yes, it was spotless. He was washing it all the time. He was waxing it all the time, scrubbing the tires. Not Mom's car. He could care less what Mom's car looked like.
He had skin in the game for his car, not yours.
He had skin in the game for his. But it's interesting too when it's their money.
Yeah, it's a big
and their
difference.
money is involved with that particular purchase. How they then view that, they view it differently. They view it differently.
So your version of skin in the game is dollars.
Yep.
My version of skin in the game in some cases has been an expectation of academics in some spaces. So all of our daughters, we always impressed upon them to do the very best you could. If you know that you did the very best you could, then you need to be happy with that grade, because that's where you are. That's what you earned. So even back in middle school with my stepdaughters, one of the big things they wanted laptops. Well, the skin in the game for them was all the way through middle school, you needed to have a grade point average that was this. That's what you had to have, not just an immediate your next report card
right.
or the one after that. Get through middle school, because then you're responsible enough to handle a pricey laptop,
yep.
right? And so that was a skin in the game that we used. Now you're talking about a car, a very similar skin in the game. You know, we said to our daughter, Sam, here's the deal. This is what, if this is the goal that you want, and this is what you want to achieve getting out of high school and going into college and teeing yourself up for college, if you achieve this, then we will feel better about giving you this type of car. Here's the rationale. She did very, very well. She shaved off basically a year of school because academically she had done so well. You know, going into college, she went in basically as a sophomore. Mm-hmm. So if you're cutting down the amount of what this tuition and stuff is going to be. And then knowing that you've done well enough that if this is the car we're helping you get, this is it. This is your car. If anything happens to this car, beyond that,
you're done.
You're done,
yeah.
And it's entirely on you. And the next car you get is the car that you earned with your job and everything. So it's a different way that we've had skin in the game with them.
It doesn't matter how
exactly.
you do it. It's just they have to have some sort of responsibility. And you brought up academics, and I think this has become a big issue for parents. College and the whole issue with student loans.
Oh, it's a big issue.
This is a tough one that a lot of parents are really struggling with. Do we give our kids money for college? Mm-hmm. Do we straddle them with all of these student loans?
Right.
And again, for us, it was a decision, okay, you're going to have skin in the game here. Even when you go to college, we have certain expectations for you. If your grades are bad, you're done.
Right.
You know, if you don't go to class, you're done. You know, so again, it was a different type of, it was the academic part of it, of skin in the game. Your dad and I will help you. We'll help you with your college education, but we expect certain things from you.
Absolutely, it's not a free ride.
Right. But if you don't perform and you don't, this is your job. Your job is to go to college. Right. Your job is to get good grades. Your job is to focus on your education. And if you don't do your job and your grades are poor and you don't live up to what we think, we're done.
Right.
It's hands off. Then the rest of your college is going to be your responsibility. So that was skin in the game when it came to education. And this, it really is tough. And I've heard from a lot of parents, like, what do you do? How do you handle this? Yeah. I think when they know that they have some level of responsibility, they step up. You can't just keep giving them stuff. You know, mommy and daddy can't be the ATM that you just go, here's the money. At some point, they have to have some responsibility.
Yeah, you have to dial it back to realize that you need to raise responsible young adults. Nothing troubles me more than when a parent hasn't set their child up into a good space to be an adult, and they turn around at 18 and go, well, you're an adult now. Okay, that age doesn't make you an adult. What makes you that is the tools that you have going into it. And, you know, my parents, they loved to do things for me, and some might have said, oh, I was spoiled to a degree, but let me tell you something, I always had skin in the game because I had to essentially pay for everything with my first car. I always had a job from the time I was 14 when you had to get your permit or whatever that's called. I always had a summer job that I started looking for, especially, you know, when I knew a lot of college kids were going to be wanting jobs. I started Christmas time to look ahead to see what kind of job I want. And, you know, when I was in college, I was working, I had a job, I had an internship, full load of courses. So, you know, I was always understanding that I had to have skin in my own life game.
I'm in the same boat. Started working when I was 14, had to pay for everything, had to get student loans, worked my way through college. Yeah. I also had skin in the game. But you said something that I think is very, very important. When your child has skin in the game, it's not just that they have responsibility, but you really are setting them up for life. They are developing life skills. And something that's going on right now with my own child, he is doing an internship. So it was his choice to do this internship. Now, he could have gotten an internship where he lived at home. He decided to get an internship in another state. where he has to get an apartment. So I said to him, okay, that's fine. You can do this internship, but you need to figure out if you're going to be making enough money to pay the rent for this apartment, to pay the utilities, and to have money to do whatever you want to do. I'll help you out with food. Your father and I will help you out with that, but you have to cover everything else. The funny thing is one of his friends asked me about this, and she said, "You're making him pay for the rent? How can you do that?" And I said, I'm teaching him life skills. He is learning how to take that money, and he's learning how to come up with a budget. Because the reality is, once he graduates from college, I mean, mom and dad aren't going to support you for the rest of your life, Sean.
You hear that, Sean?
So figure it out.
I know this. They're not.
It's all about learning life skills and learning finances and learning budgeting, that you're going to get your money. Okay, I only have this, but I got to pay the rent. I got to pay the bills. It's life skills. It's not about, being mean or anything else.
No.
It's teaching them life skills. And Carrie, I got to tell you, if I hit the lottery tomorrow,
he's still
and
not
won
getting a boatload of it. Yeah,
I'm not giving it to him. I'm not giving it to him.
You give it to me.
I share the love with you,
Thanks,
girlfriend.
babe. Thanks.
I'll share it with my chick.
Yeah.
I'm not sharing it with the chicklet.
Because it's if you do not learn these valuable skills, there is a lack of pride. Don't you think that you had pride
Absolutely.
in yourself?
100%.
I had pride in myself. I don't look back and go, oh, I can't believe my parents didn't pay for this, this, and this. You know what? It built me to be what I am.
Yep.
And I've been able to provide, my husband and I have been able to provide, obviously, more for the girls as the years have gone on. But you know what? The older two didn't get as much as the next ones, as much as the younger one. But that's okay, because we were always building them up to have some sort of way to take care of themselves. At the end of the day, when you become an adult, you really have to know how to take care of yourself.
It's called life.
Yes.
It's called life.
Yes.
And so my parents raised me the same way, and don't we owe a big thank you to our parents for forcing us to have skin in the game?
Yeah, I do. Thank you, Mom. Thank you, Dad.
Thank you, Mom, and thank you, Dad in heaven. Thanks.
Yeah, and I really
great life skills.
Absolutely, and I really hope that that as parents that we learn that that's okay to not give your kid everything. Our bank account isn't your bank account.
Nope.
And I want kids to understand that having a sense of entitlement will get them nowhere. Because the moment any of my kids express any bit of entitlement, I am so not giving. I reel it right back in, because then I'm like, whoa, I messed up.
Yep.
That's how I feel.
Yeah, you hear it and you think, what did I do wrong?
Exactly. I don't like it.
I don't like it either. We hope you liked today's topic.
Absolutely.
Get your kids to have some skin in the game. Send us an email. Tell us what you thought. We are chick2chick@penwatch.org. We're also all over social media. Our handle is chick2chickusa.
Yeah, and of course, if you do like the podcast channels much better, you can find us on Podbean, Stitcher, iTunes, Spotify, Google Play. The point is, you can't miss us. You can find us just about everywhere.
We are everywhere. We're so glad you tuned in today. And until next time, when we will be back to chirp about another topic.